Comes to questions for oral answer, and the first question is in the name of the Leader of the Opposition, David Shearer.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Prime Minister, does he have confidence in all his ministers?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, yes.
Supplementary question, David Shearer.
Does he have confidence in himself, given that on the 26th of March in this House, he said that privacy breaches were inevitable and a result of human error with regard to our government agencies, yet the GCIO review he received in December last year showed there was systemic failure?
That's right. Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, to quote the Deputy Prime Minister, he's never been short of that, he being me, of course.
Supplementary question.
Mr Speaker, I don't think I got an answer to why.
Order. I've got supplementary question, David Shearer.
Why, when he had already received a report into privacy breaches and had a cabinet discussion on the report, did he continue to mislead the public that there were no systemic failures of government information systems?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, I didn't. If the member's talking about the GCIO report that's been released, that looked at public interfacing systems, of which there were 215 systems across 70 agencies, of which there were 12 breaches. What that also showed was that that is quite a different issue, actually, from someone making a simple human error mistake, like sending an email with the wrong address.
Supplementary question, David Shearer.
Does the report into privacy breaches show that 87% of public sector agencies have no formal security certification and accreditation processes? 73% have no formal security policy? And if so, doesn't he think that's a little beyond human error and actually amounts to systemic failure right across our government?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, well, the member's confusing two different issues. One is public-facing systems. Well, he can choose if he wants to, but one is public-facing issues, and the second is whether someone sends a mistake, an email by mistake. In the case of the point I was referring to that the member quotes for, it was where someone used an email address and sent to the wrong address. That is human error. What the GCIO report today shows, yes, there's room for improvement. Yes, the system is being improved. And our government will be the first government that actually has a Chief Technology Officer that will have wide-ranging powers as a result of the changes we've made and a number of other systems improvements that we've enhanced in the last 6 months.
Supplementary question, David Shearer.
Does he now consider, in light of the GCIO report, that there was systemic failures across our government in regard to information systems?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, no, I don't think there's systemic failure. I think what there is in those public interfacing systems the room for improvement, and as I said, that's why the government has been developing an ICT assurance framework. That's why the government is upgrading the powers of the Chief Information Officer. That's why the government commissioned the work that's been going on. It is inevitable, actually, as we move into the digital age, because I know the Labor Party's in the dark ages, but the government's actually moving into the digital age, that these errors will occur.
Supplementary question, David Shearer.
Why should the public trust him to implement the recommendations of the GCIO report when he actually denies that there is any systemic failure?
Mr Speaker,
right Honourable Prime Minister.
The member's confusing two completely different issues. If the member wants to do that, then he's going to carry on talking the way he talks under his invisible cloak.
Supplementary question, David Shearer.
When his Minister Peter Dunn was questioned 4 times by David Henry as part of the Kitteridge Report leaking inquiry, something that no other minister underwent, was that questioning under oath?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, I don't have details about the inquiry because the inquiry is ongoing, but to the best of my knowledge, no information wasn't taken under oath.
Supplementary question, David Shearer.
Given that the witness's question is part of the inquiry into the leaking of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs were questioned under oath, doesn't he consider it as a double standard not to question those suspects in the Kitteridge inquiry?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
No.
Supplementary question, David Shearer.
Given his statement to TV3 that he was sceptical about finding the leaker, does he really want to find the perpetrator? And if so, wouldn't he therefore insist on those people being questioned under oath?
Right, Honourable Prime
Well,
Minister.
Mr Speaker, to the best of my knowledge, over the course of many governments, there have been inquiries. Very few of them are taken under oath. Some are. Very few of them are not. If the member is saying that they have to be taken under oath, is he then saying that the inquiries that were held under the previous Labor government that weren't undertaken under oath were therefore just made up?
Question. Order. 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 Question number 2. John Hayes.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance.